It's 1934. Los Angeles is a broken city full of desperation. The Great Depression has just broken the economy and in turn the spirits of its inhabitants. People are looking for a miracle, and on the 29th of January, the Los Angeles Times gave them one. This was the story of G. Warren Shufelt, a mining engineer who claimed he had found an ancient advanced civilization buried right beneath the feet of every banker and bootlegger in downtown LA. He supported his claim with a huge piece of evidence. He had a map of a city shaped like a literal lizard. The head at the Dodger Stadium and the tail goes to the Central Library. And he had a device that he called the radio X-ray. Most cities would have laughed him out of the room, but the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors? Well, they signed a crazy contract entitling him to a 50-50 split of the gold. They watched as Shufelt sank a 250-foot shaft into Fort Moore Hill. But then, the drill hit something. The city got scared, and concrete was poured to cover it up. And the most bizarre chapter in American archaeology was officially erased. Until now. Tonight, we aren't just looking for lizards. We are looking for the truth that was buried under the City of Angels. G. Warren Shufelt wasn't your typical cult leader. He was a geophysicist, a man of great intelligence, and you would assume rationality. But he became obsessed with a legend told to him by a Hopi chief named Little Chief Greenleaf, who I'm pretty sure was also in Peter Pan. This legend said that 5,000 years ago, a great fire swept across the west, and a tongue of fire miles wide came, incinerating everything in its path. To survive, a race of lizard humanoids far more advanced than us, more intelligent than us, fled underground to avoid the fire. They dug caves using a mysterious chemical solution to melt through solid bedrock, carving out 285 separate tunnels that could house 1,000 families. Shufelt, consumed by this tale, spent his life savings building a machine to find them. Skeptics called it a doodlebug. He called it the radio X-ray. The radio X-ray was a cylindrical tripod-mounted device that supposedly used radio waves to map subsurface voids and could be used to discover and map underground cities. When Shufelt's machine started clicking, he saw geometry, a massive labyrinth of tunnel schemes, rooms, and then, under the 2nd and South Broadway, he identified the key room, the directory for the entire city. Inside, he claimed that his little X-ray device had detected 37 tablets of solid gold. Each of them were 4 feet long, containing the origin of the human race. Now, how could he possibly know this escapes me? But nevertheless, this was his claim. He wasn't money hungry, though that 50-50 split was a nice bonus. He was just hunting for the user manual for humanity, or something totally honourable like that. In February 1934, the drilling began at the old Banning property on North Hill Street. Shufelt was a man possessed, running around in a frenzy with his little doodlebug. He was calling the shots now, and he definitely was not guessing. At 28 feet, the newspapers reported that they had struck gold. The city held its breath. Many people stood on the hillside, heckling the diggers, waiting for that first gold tablet to break the surface. But as the drill went deeper, 75 feet, 150 feet, things got a little bit strange. The air in the shaft became thin, and the mud coming up became vitrified, turning to glass as if it had been subjected to immense heat thousands of years ago. Shufelt claimed his radio X-ray was now showing him domes and vaults filled with water, which he had apparently missed the first time around. He was preparing to bring in divers. He was prepared to go 1,000 feet deep if necessary. Well, he was minding his little device, but he was prepared to make others do all of this. Then came the earthquake. In March, a massive quake rattled LA. The city officials, who were already nervous about public frenzy, saw their chance. They claimed that the shaft was a public hazard and ordered Shufelt to stop digging. He fought for a 30-day extension. He begged them, he cried. He told the LA Times, "I know I am over a pattern of tunnels." But by the end of 1934, the project was dead. The hole was filled with debris and concrete, and Shufelt, once the most famous man in LA, walked away and never spoke of his lizard people again. Let's be real for a second. It's the 1930s. Everyone is broke and desperate as a result of the Depression. Shufelt needs investors, so he finds a chief called Little Green Chief Greenleaf, whatever it was, who sounds like a caricature, and most importantly, doesn't appear in any official Hopi records. What Shufelt likely hit wasn't a lost empire, it was a time capsule of sin. Los Angeles is literally hollow. Under First and Broadway, there were 11 miles of service tunnels used by mobsters to move illegal gin into the basements of City Hall. This being the most famous Prohibition maze. Not quite lizards, but definitely some sort of reptile. The gas pockets were another explanation. Modern geologists know LA is sitting on a massive natural gas pocket. If Shufelt's machine detected a void, it wasn't necessarily a library of gold or an ancient city. It was the ticking time bomb of methane. And the lizard shape, if you draw enough lines between the library and a stadium, you can make a lizard shape out of anything. You could say it was pareidolia, but it's just a lot of lines. Shufelt's radio X-ray was likely a primitive gravity meter. It found the tunnels, yes, but it couldn't tell the difference between a 5,000-year-old vault and a 1920s liquor cellar. And it certainly couldn't read gold tablets 1,000 feet under the ground. How did anyone even believe this? So it was just a scam. A desperate man in a desperate time. Maybe, but then there's the 101. In the late 1940s, Fort Moore Hill, the exact site of Shufelt's dig, was physically cut down to make room for the Hollywood freeway. As the steam shuffles tore into the earth, they found things that weren't on the city maps. Engineers reported hitting anomalous hollows, rooms lined with a substance that looked like cement, but it was much harder than any modern mix. Voids that were too deep for prohibition and too large for gas pockets. And then there was the smell. To this day, workers in the sub-basements of the LA Public Library report a specific heavy scent. Not sewage, not gas, ancient mud. The smell of a swamp in the middle of a concrete desert. G. Warren Shufelt might have been a con man. Or he might have been the only person to realise that Los Angeles isn't just a city, it's a lid. He was definitely just a con man. The 1934 map is still in the archives. You can look at it yourself. The 101 freeway, it's still moving. And the gold, if it's there, it's 1,000 feet down, right where Shufelt said it would be, if you want to go look for it. But what do you think? Was the city of LA in on the scam, or did they shut down Shufelt because he actually found what was in the key room? I think it's unlikely, but let me know in the comments below. And subscribe for more.